Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club, a podcast for agents where you'll witness a battle of opinions about topics affecting your real estate business. Now, always in your corner, here are your hosts, Jen Mertland and Monica Weekly.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What's up, Jen Mert?
Team Mertland.
Whatever. This is ridiculous. The last two heavy hitters we've had, you have gone out and personally attracted them just to make yourself feel better. And I call bullshit.
No, that's exactly what happened. You're right.
Yeah, I can see it.
That they were even heavy hitters. I mean,
this is true.
I mean, come on.
I don't think we've had a heavy hitter quite like you, Michael. So
I just say it's offensive when somebody brings a featherweight in and wants to compare him to a heavyweight. Like,
all right, we'll have a new name for you. I don't know what it is.
Little league versus major league. I mean, come on.
There you go.
All right, I want to introduce to you our ultra heavy hitter, the ultimate
heaviest of hitters,
the heaviest of all hitters, Michael Hellickson, the CEO and founder of Club Wealth, former top agent in all of the United States by a mile. The world.
Well, we don't know for sure the world. We do know for sure the U.S., but I can't prove the world. So
we would imagine the world for sure. Michael, thank you for being on this show. We do feel honored. You are something, and I feel like we're going to learn a lot from you today.
Yeah, baby.
Look, I had to take my tie off. I mean, you come to Fight Club, you know the first rule of Fight Club.
Yeah.
Take your tie off.
Let's take your tie off.
Yeah. And your earrings out. I took mine out. Oh. Yeah, we're ready.
I take my nose ring out too.
Now, Michael, if you had showed up with that tie around your forehead like this, now I would have thought like, okay,
dude, if I had to sit here, I'd put it on there right now. Next time, we'll do this again.
Next time.
But here's the next time, you got to bring me a worthy opponent. Like if we're gonna have Fight Club, like put me in the cage with somebody who can keep up. Like, let's go.
You don't know. That might be me.
That's Monica.
That's me.
Cupcake.
Watch it.
All right, look, we had this conversation.
Cupcake.
Come on now. Come on.
All right, guys.
I think it's fantastic, but come on.
Yeah, I get it. I feel like I'm going to be bruised and battered at the end of this, but thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. We love having you here. And today, Jen and Michael and I are going to duke it out over this subject. I feel like maybe, I don't know if I will fight, but here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to say, are you making real estate harder than it really is? How are you doing it? Are you doing it? Why the hell are you doing it? All the things. So, Jen, I guess you posed this question because you believe real estate's just freaking easy, correct?
I think it's simple.
It's not easy.
Correct.
No.
Tell us the difference, Michael.
Listen, it is extremely simple. I mean, there's lots of mechanisms that we use to grow our businesses. There's sole agents versus team agents. There's really the three key things you got to do every single day: lead generation, lead follow-up, lead conversion, and then there's all the noise, right? But if you're not doing those three things every single day, you might as well just pack your stuff and get out of the business, because I got news for you. It's going to chew you up here over the next 24 months. Mark my words. And here's the question you really got to be asking yourself: am I smarter than a 20-year-old? Can I do this better than a 20-year-old? And we'll get to that. But I mean, I can tell you right now that I know a 20-year-old that's probably done more business this year in their they're in their fifth month of selling real estate now than probably everybody listening to this podcast right now, or at least 99.99%. And that's not a criticism. It's simply to point out that, listen, this is not rocket science.
Hey there, you liking this video? Go ahead and hit subscribe so you get all the latest videos.
All right. If I can take a 20-year-old that sounds like they're still in puberty and frankly looks even younger, right? I mean, we're talking Dookie Howser as a kid, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I love this kid, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, how is it that he has already built the team? He's already got, personally, he's closing $154,000 in gross commission income to him, after splits this month alone. Team has listed over 62 properties already in the last 4 months, in their first 4 months as a team. And by the way, average age of the agents on that team, 21 years old. I'm not even kidding you. Listen, guys. I'm not even kidding you. Guys, listen.
Wow.
People are overcomplicating this.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Because they want to feel like they're important, and because, oh, look at how great I am. I can do all this stuff nobody else can do. And it's just so complicated. And that's how I justify my commissions and blah, 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 blah. No.
See,
I think they're justifying their failure. I think they're justifying their failure. This is too hard. This is a hard market. This is right. I mean,
I just think they don't want to do what they know to do, which is exactly, Michael, what you said. It's lead generation, lead follow-up. I mean, this is what it is. And a lot of people, they don't know what to say. They don't want to do it. They think if you hang a billboard or put your face on a grocery cart, you'll get leads. And it's just not like that.
Watch this. First of all, you're 100% correct about that. And second of all, I want you to ask yourself this question. What's more important, motivation or discipline? If everybody watching this could ask themselves that question right now, ask it, what's more important, motivation or discipline? And I will answer that question for you in the form of a quote from one of my favorite mentors, Jim Rohn.
Love him.
Freaking love Jim, great guy. I love Jim and the way that he talks. And it's just, I just love the guy. Right? All right. So here's the deal. So Jim says, motivation is not enough. If you have an idiot and you motivate them, now all you have is motivated idiots. True. So you tell me what's more important, motivation or discipline? I can take an idiot and motivate them and they're not going to get anything done, but I can take that same idiot and I can give them discipline. And if they will sit down and do the work, it doesn't matter whether and how smart they are. It doesn't matter how much they know. If they will sit and do the freaking work on a daily basis, make the calls, set the appointments, guess what? They will have success.
Okay. First fight.
Oh, bring it, sister.
Let me stretch out.
Yeah, you're gonna need you for this one.
First out. I mean,
on those shoulders too. You're gonna need
that's right. That's right. I don't want to argue with the great Jim Rohn because that's just ridiculous. But I will push back here and ask this question, or this is what was in my mind. If I am motivated in the right way, that will create discipline. And what I mean by that is if I need to eat or have a roof over my head, if it's important enough, if I need to feed my child, I will find the right activities and the discipline around that. So that motivation comes first in that case. Tell me why.
The problem is it doesn't pull you through.
And it's not enough. Again, we're not saying motivation isn't important. We're not saying it's not helpful. We're just saying it's not enough. If you have to choose between motivation and discipline, you choose discipline all day long. I'll tell you what, I love it when I'm interviewing people. I mean, I've hired thousands and thousands of people. Here's one of my favorite ones right here. Oh, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to light the world on fire. I'm going to be the best that ever was. Yada, 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 yada. And then I get the kid that says, hey, man, like, I don't know anything from anything. I'm 18 years old. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I will tell you this. I will outwork everyone in your office. Tell me what to do.
Right.
Who do you want on your team?
The latter.
Yes, I think the first example you gave is like words of motivation. I'm talking intrinsically motivated for some hierarchical need.
I just don't think it's sustainable. Like I see what you're saying, and maybe it's like that can be like a catalyst. And I think that's what you're saying. It's like a catalyst to the discipline,
right.
But it's not enough to it's not enough to pull you through when you finally reach that level where you're like, okay, I got this. You will not then stay disciplined because your back's not against the wall.
So Gary Keller once said in an event where I was, he said, discipline's bullshit. You can maybe muster an hour of it a day. It's not that it's habits.
That's lies.
Yes, Gary's wrong. And I like Gary, but Gary's freaking wrong. And let me tell you something. Listen,
okay.
I have a lot of respect for Gary. I really do. But and he's been wrong on some other things. I'll tell you a couple of, if you want to go toe to toe with Gary Keller, let's go. In fact, get Gary on his show. There's a guy
that would be
maybe hold his own.
Who knows Gary?
Maybe.
Bring Gary on.
You know what? He won't show up for a show with me because he's afraid to. And I'll tell him that to his face. Listen, I love Gary. I think he's a great guy.
I love it.
He was right about a lot of stuff, but
he was right about a lot of stuff. But let me tell you why he's wrong on that. Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, I can tell you that every single person on my son's team, 4 hours a day, they're hitting the phones. 4 hours a day. Every single one of those kids is literally setting 3 to 4 appointments every single day. That's why they're having success. And they've been doing it for the entire 4 months that each of them have been in business. Now, have there been weaker agents that have come onto that team in the last 4 months that didn't make it? Yes, because they couldn't hang, because they didn't have what it took. They were not Eagles, they were turkeys. They were not Navy SEALs, they were Navy wannabes. right? Like, listen, at the end of the day, discipline is all it's about. Because if I'm the most motivated person in the world, which by the way, a lot of real estate agents that get foreclosed on are, right? They're all motivated and yet they still lose their houses. They're all motivated and yet they're still freaking broke. Tell me how that's possible.
Do you think that's discipline or they've built habits? And what's the difference?
What's the difference? Habits and discipline are one and the same. If I have discipline, I'll have the right habits. If I take that discipline, okay, they're not one and the same.
I don't think they're the same. No,
but I have to have the right habits and I have to have the discipline to stick to those habits in order to be successful. And if I don't have the discipline to stick to those habits, it doesn't matter how motivated I am, it doesn't matter how smart I am, it doesn't matter how much I spend on marketing, I'm going to be broke.
I think too, like there's a misconception that you have to be disciplined for like the entire day, every day, day in and day out. And that's not true. I would argue you take an average everyday agent that just doesn't want to do 6,000 deals a year, doesn't want to have a team. Right. However you generate leads, and we talk about on the show, there's 1,000 ways to do it. Pick two, somebody you know, people you know, and people you don't know. Just
now we get to fight.
Can we fight?
Go.
Can I finish my
Yes.
Hold on, man.
Go ahead.
I'm saying
I'm writing this down.
However, you write it down. However you generate leads, I'm talking about discipline for 2 hours a day. That's it. It will lead to success. All right,
Jennifer, I'll take a half hour a day. I got news for you. I would be willing.
A half hour is not enough.
No, but it's better than 99% of the agents out
there. Well, this is true.
2 hours, I think, is the critical point where it will lead you to money. And when you have money, you have choices. And I think that the amount of money should be a measurement of the success of your business.
Much as it pains me to say this, I agree with most of what you just said. So that being said, I really do, but I'm trying to find ways to fight with here. And I'm going to start with this. So first of all, if any agent that's watching this, I guarantee if I went through your last 2 weeks of your schedule, I would not find an average of 2 hours a day. I wouldn't find an average of a half hour a day.
Right.
This is right.
That you've been productive. I guarantee it. And I do this for a living. I've got 86 coaches. I've got 3,500 people in our coaching program. And I'm telling you right now, we do this every day. And every single time we find that 99% of everybody's day is completely freaking wasted. That being said, the first thing is if I can just get them to a half hour day, then we'll move them to an hour a day, then we'll get them to do an hour and a half a day, and eventually we'll get them to 2 hours a day. And yes, I agree with you. If I can get them consistently over a long period of time to do 2 hours a day of productive lead
generation, like a long period of time, not 2 weeks.
Greater
I mean,
10
years every day, 2 hours a day.
They'd be out by then.
5 years, they'd have so much sphere of influence business coming in.
Yeah.
That being said, there's some I got to jump on. And I am telling you right now, like we could go toe to toe on this.
Here we go.
Let's go. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I hope your corner man's ready because you're about to come out bloody. I hope you're ready for this. All right. 2 freaking lead sources. Are you kidding? That is a great way to go out of business. Listen, you know what? Most agents have one lead source and that's their sphere of influence.
Right.
Freaking weak. In fact, watch this. 8 years ago, I come armed with data. You want to win a fight with me, you better come with freaking data. All right.
I just make shit up. But I sound like I know what I'm talking
about. Let's talk about data, right? Get Gary.
It's how you say it.
Let's go. Exactly. In fact, get Gary and Glenn in here. I'll go.
Let's get them.
All right.
So check this out. 8 years ago, the average agent got 61% of their business from their sphere of influence. 61%. That number in the last 2 years has dropped all the way down below 40%. Why is that? So basically what's happening is sphere of influence, repeat and referral business is taking a nosedive. Why? Because 92% of all buyers start their search where?
Online.
It's
92. I would think it was higher.
72% of those work with the first agent they come in contact with that doesn't drop the ball on referral. They don't care how they found them. That's what people don't understand. That's what this market's doing to people. And let me tell you something, everything's getting spun on its head right now because guess what everybody's been buying for the last, decade? Buyer leads, Zillow, Realtor.com, all this crap. Spending millions and in fact, billions of dollars on buyer lead, or I should say hundreds of millions. I don't know if we're in the billions yet, but probably. But check this out. Where should they be buying leads? What kind of leads should they be buying? Seller leads. Seller leads.
I'm gonna go no leads.
They don't even know how to hire sellers. Well, but they should. Here's the thing: if you want, and I've got the data behind this. I'm telling you, if you want to make six figures consistently in all markets, no matter it's going up, it's going down, doesn't matter, sideways, doing nothing, doesn't matter. You want to make six figures net income every year, you need 10 to 15 lead sources. You want to make 7 figures net income, you're going to need 25 to 35 lead sources.
I'm saying by two.
Go ahead, finish up your thought.
What I'm saying about 2 is there has to be a way that you're consistently communicating over time with people that you know, and consistently communicating with people over time that you don't know to make them people that you know to get leads.
Yes.
Now, inside of that, you may have 1 or 2 or up to you say you have a bunch, but look, I just want 2 ways consistently first. This is your half hour of calls.
Okay, hold on. Michael, I want to go back to something you said. That's interesting stat about the decline of the referral source.
Oh, wait till the market really shifts. You want to talk about referrals going away.
See, and of course, this is my lane, and this is how I've certainly not done near the amount of business, nor did I probably ever want to do that much business because I wouldn't be very good at that. But here's the thing that I know. The reason I believe that is dropping is not because people start on the internet, but because we as referral agents don't create a system to continue to grow and strengthen those relationships so that we are not so strong we're not thought of when these people want to go look at a house or whatever. So they do.
No, because I call them.
Yeah, no. So let me just share this. And that's so warm and fuzzy and just sounds so good. And
It's a hug.
Let me just give you a virtual hug there, just Monica.
Thank you, Michael.
Now, can I just tell you who you really sound like? You really sound like Brian Buffini, who, by the way, almost went out of business in 2008 and 2009. Why did he almost go out of business in 2008 and 2009? Again, let's get back to data and facts. Why did he almost go out of business? Because the market was fully in recession and his business was entirely dependent on agents whose business was entirely dependent on referrals, which go away because nobody calls their neighbor up and says, oh, hey, by the way, I'm about to get foreclosed on. Do you have a really great real estate agent you can refer me to? Said no one ever.
Never. We should have Buffini.
Bring it.
Versus
that
Monica
and bring Tom while you're at
Buffini.
it too. Bring them all. I'll talk because guess what? I've sold more real estate than all 4 of those guys we've talked about combined. Let's go.
I know you
Bring
have.
right now.
I love it.
But here's the guy, and I like Brian. Don't get me wrong. I think he's got some great systems for the referral side of the business. And don't get me wrong, I like referrals. When I was at my peak, we were doing about 192 to 200 transactions a year by referral, right? Which is great. But if your referral business is more than 25% of your business, you're screwed. That's all there's to it. If you're counting
That
on
seems low.
dude, I'm telling you. Oh yeah. Listen, if I'm buying business, so have you ever bought businesses? I have. I've bought and flipped several businesses. And let me tell you, when I'm buying a business, if more than 5% of their business comes from any one source, I'm not interested because that's a risky business to be in.
It goes away. You're
absolutely 100%. I want to be in control of my destiny. And if I'm reliant upon other people to refer me for more than 25% of my business, I'm not in control. The kid I was telling you about, that's my freaking son. This kid's brand new in the business. Guess how many of those well, they've probably closed. I think they've closed. They've listed over 62 houses already this year, but I think they've closed just over 50 transactions so far this year. Don't quote me on the number, but I think that's about where they're at. But guess what? How many of those were sphere of influence?
I'm going to guess less than 15.
5.
2.
Well, yeah, but they're also like 20 years old.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Right. They don't know anybody.
What's that?
They don't know anybody buying a house yet.
Well, the kids their age aren't buying houses yet, most of them, right? But here's the thing. I want to be able to take any agent. Watch this. You drop me in any part of the country. I'll go Bob Allen on you, who's a friend of mine, by the way. I'll go freaking Robert Allen on you. You drop Bob or I in any part of the country. I mean, I don't care where. You drop me in any market in the country. I will be the top agent in that market inside 2 years, probably in the first year, and I will be profitable in the first 6 months.
Because you're generating leads from people you don't know.
In all kinds of different
and honestly
ways.
In all kinds of ways.
Yeah. And this is what allowed me to travel around the world for a year because, you know, I talk to people I don't know all the time, but agents are scared to do that.
That's right.
Work.
Well, I was going to say to you, Michael, I think I'm super
She's angry.
actually, I'm speechless slightly because I actually hear what you're saying. Like, I actually hear what you're saying.
Oh, sorry. What?
Oh wait,
Let
he's
me-
right. Tell him again.
Can we get back to like a sense of reality here? You and your son and Jen are a different breed of human.
You're
The
right.
right
We're
breed.
successful.
Far.
You're absolutely right. We're the successful breed. You're absolutely right.
Okay, right.
100%.
Okay.
Yes, you're correct. We're
Okay.
eagles, not turkeys. You are 100%
Let-
correct.
Can we
Yes.
talk about the turkey?
Again, I
thing?
hate to agree with you, but I have to in this case.
Yeah, I appreciate you
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Can you speak to, could you remove your successful face for 1 second? And
It's like
Talk
asking a leopard
to-
to remove their spots.
that's what I'm saying. It's just, I know it's hard, but if you could for a minute, talk to the average agent who
Okay.
isn't going to grind out like that. They're just
Okay.
not going to do it.
Super simple. Super simple. Then here's what they need to understand. Get a pen. Everybody grab a pen. I'm going to write.
Oh shit, this is going to be
very
good.
simple, okay. Just grab a pen and write this down. This is the
Okay.
script I want you to memorize. Okay. You ready for this, Monica?
Yeah.
Monica, this is the script that is going to, this is a script that's going to bring you the majority of your income in the years going forward. You ready for this?
Yeah, ready.
Would you like fries with that?
Stop it.
Are
Don't
you-
be mean to her.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Look,
What?
don't be mean to her. Look, here's the deal.
Oh, I can take it.
I'm
I
just
can
saying.
take it.
If the average agent, let's just say the average agent is selling, let's just say, what do you think? 25 houses to a month, something like that.
I'm
The
sorry.
average is
Wait, hold on.
way lower
Stop.
than that.
The average real estate agent in the United States last year sold 4.5 houses.
But let's say
That's
they
right.
desire.
And by the way, guys like
to
me screw that way up.
But most agents come in and they're like, I want to make $100,000 anyway.
And they don't.
And they
and
don't.
So most
87%
agents
of those
want
are
to sell
gone in
25
2 years.
houses.
They want
They
to sell
want
25.
to sell 25
Okay.
houses.
I
Correct.
would say if you want to sell 25, you still, going back to what I said before, you have to figure out how to talk to people consistently that you know and do it. And you could just start with the one way, and you have to talk to people you don't know. That's
I
it.
don't. I would consistently sell well over 25 houses a year, and I don't talk to anybody I don't know.
Yes, you
And
do.
that will work
I mean,
you
for
right
real
until the
estate.
recession hits again. Let me ask you this. Were you in business in 2007 to 2011?
Yes, I was.
How many transactions did you close in 2008?
Honest to God, I don't remember.
Yeah, was it
I
more or less
honestly
than
don't.
25? You know that answer.
It was
It was
probably less.
It was not probably less. It was less. So here's the, and that's
Well,
not a
I was
criticism.
running the Keller Williams office at the
It
time.
doesn't
I was
matter.
team
It doesn't
leader.
matter what the excuse is. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, reason. Sorry, same thing. It doesn't matter, right? That's not the point. The point is
Okay.
data doesn't lie. Okay. We have to
Mhm.
trust the data, and data doesn't lie. And now listen, can people that grew up in an area, be successful and never ever have to make a cold call or do an ad or buy a lead or any of that
Yes.
kind of stuff? We can, and the answer is absolutely yes. And you know what? I can drop my business card on the ground and somebody else walks in behind me, picks up my business card, calls me and buys a house for me too. But you know what? I'm not relying on that for my business. That's like winning the freaking lottery. That is not a predictable, duplicatable way to do business. And it's dang sure not scalable. That being said, a lot of people don't want or need to be that successful. They don't need to do more
Right.
than 25 transactions.
Correct.
Okay, fine. I get that. But that's not most agents. Remember, 87% of all agents that get in the business today are going to be gone in 2 years.
Right.
87%. And I
Right.
want to save as many of those little snowflakes as I can. And the only way to save them is for them to understand that this is a freaking job. It's work.
Right.
And what happens is everybody gets into real estate thinking, oh, I'm going to have freedom and I'm going to control my schedule and I'm going to make money and I get to look at pretty houses. And yeah, and you get to choose to be broke too. But
Right.
if you don't want to choose to be broke, and by the way, here's the other big misnomer in real estate that drives me nuts. It's when people say, oh, well, I made $250,000 last year. Really, Cupcake? Let's take a
Really?
look at your P&L. Because
Yeah.
I got news for you.
Right.
You didn't make $250,000 last year. At best, you made 125. And you say that you only
Probably
work,
not.
4 hours a day or whatever. Hogwash. You're working 80 hours a week. You just suck at being efficient during those 80 hours a week.
Right.
Right.
And I'm not talking about you, Monica. I'm saying in
No.
general,
I
I'm
understand.
in general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that.
This is all about discipline. And if you can be disciplined for 2 hours a day, to Jennifer's point, I will take that agent over the undisciplined agent 14 hours a day.
And I would submit to the audience, like, just try
Is
it.
this the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in court.
Feel like
Just
it.
do it. Look,
Objection!
look,
Oh,
the
sorry.
best thing you can do to help people is to not be a poor person, right? If you want to help poor people, don't be one of them. So generate the leads. If you don't want them, then refer them out. But here's the thing, if you have enough leads coming in and you create this engine for yourself by talking to people that you don't know and people that you know, then you always have a choice. And I think like freedom is better than guessing.
Okay, let's take a break. And then when we come back, I want to dive into some details with Michael. I want to get into the weeds a minute.
Okay, but when we come back from the break, here's what you need to, here's what we're going to hit. We're going to touch on this because I'll tell you right now, I want to address the mental deficiency. Write that down. The mental deficiency that agents that keep telling themselves, I'm as successful as I want to be and I don't want to grow anymore. It's a mental deficiency. And I'm going to show you why when we come back. I'm going to prove it to all of you. And you're going to freak out when I show it to you.
Freak out.
Man.
Get it.
Can't wait. Jen, do you want to get us out of here?
Yeah. So let's listen to our favorite partners. And when we come back, we will hear how we are mentally deficient. Are you ready to grow? Maybe ready to start a team or at least hire out some leverage? Well, let's get your foundation checked. Go to mygrowthscore.com and take a free business assessment. Now, this assessment was designed and created by my coach, Coach John Kitchens. It helps you discover which of the 8 growth factors could be holding your business back. And just like a house, it's important to make sure you have the right foundation before adding that second story. So go to mygrowthscore.com and find out how you rank.
Welcome back. Let's get back to the battle inside the ring. Listen, I got to be honest. When I asked the question, are we making real estate harder than it is? Like, I thought we'd all kind of agree on this and it wouldn't really be a big battle. I think this might be one of the most epic battles, Jen, we've ever had. What do you think?
I like it. I like it.
All right, Michael, tell us why we're all defective.
What's
that?
I think you guys are going to need to bring an army with you next time. I feel like you showed up to a gunfight with a knife.
Apparently.
That way we can get close.
Did you call us defective or deficient? Which one was it? Let's go.
Deficient, not defective.
Okay.
Not defective, deficient. Now watch this. Let's talk about the mental deficiency that in general agents at large have. And by the way, it's not just agents, it's people in general, right? And I would submit that all of us, every human being on the planet is at some level mentally deficient. Okay. And what does that really mean? It means that we are not where we need to be mentally. The number one problem that we have in our success is right here. And every single one of you is saying, oh, I don't need to be that big. And I don't need to sell that many transactions.
That's
freaking wash. And you guys will all agree with me that watch this. Even the cupcakes in the crowd cannot deny this one. You will hear, you will recognize this. I'm going to read it in its entirety. So listen freaking carefully. Our greatest fear, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, or fabulous? I might add successful. Actually, who are you not to be?
Exactly.
You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's what the game we need to be playing. All of us need to play bigger, not smaller.
Yes.
So next time somebody
Marianne Williamson, right there, baby.
Exactly right.
I know it. I love that quote.
I agree with that. Or, I find, because Monica and I are from the Midwest, and so we deal with a lot of people from the Midwest, and it is a mentality. It's like, well, it's enough. No, it's not enough. Get your unfair share and then help everybody else. Because if you don't get more than your share, you cannot possibly help other people. You agree?
That's exactly right. Do you think anybody in Bulgaria is saying, or sorry, not Bulgaria, but Ukraine? Do you think anybody in the Ukraine is saying that that I have enough right now?
No.
Do you think that Ukraine as a country feels like they have enough right now?
No.
How much more do you think they wish they had right now to defend their freaking homeland? And guess what? The second we as a country stop expecting more, we end up like the Ukraine. Mark my words, because there are terrible people out there that want to take and take and take at any and all costs in every area of our life. And if you want to be a giver, then you've got to have something to give. If your bucket's empty, how are you going to fill somebody else's? Ain't going to happen.
Well, and I think too, a lot of people have this mindset about money and they think like, okay, if we say a measure of success is by the amount of money that you have, and that is a measurement. I know Monica would argue that there's other ways, but we'll just stick with this one.
Oh, listen, I love me some money. Be real clear. I am all about playing life really freaking big, but I do agree that that's different for some people.
It is. So, but I mean, the thing is like, if and you're in real estate, we have the unique ability to be able to step on the gas really hard for really long, make as much as you can't even imagine how much. And if you don't want it, you can donate it.
Listen,
what can you donate if you have none?
Nothing.
Can't donate shit.
Time, but you won't even have much of that because you'll be so married to the job, J-O-B job, that you work for somebody else that tells you when you got to show up. You won't even have time for it.
What do you think is the reality? Okay, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, I'm going to talk to people that I don't know. However, there's 1,000 ways to do that, right? But I'm going to do that, and I'm dedicated to doing it 2 to 3 hours a day. For how long do you think they would need to do that to start to feel like that engine is going? Like, what are we talking about?
To feel like the engine is going a couple months.
Know.
I mean,
not long, right?
I'll put it this way. On my son's team, we were talking about, right? They're in Washington State. They're in Seattle, Washington, right? Arguably one of the most competitive markets in the country, right? Every single person on that, I'm going to say kid, because they are. Every single kid on that team has had their first closing in the first 2 months of being on that team. 60 days from starting in real estate to first closing. Every one of them.
That's unusual. Yeah.
Let's say so. So it doesn't have to take long.
It doesn't have to take long. It doesn't have to be hard.
No. Well,
so Michael,
I want it to be hard. In fact, I want to remember what Brian Tracy said. He talked about eating the frog or embracing the suck, right?
Yeah.
You got to embrace the suck. And it's kind of, there's
it's the boredom too, the boredom of it, right? Because it can get really boring to be.
Dude, it does. It gets so boring counting all those zeros. I lose track. It's very boring.
Yeah, lots of zeros. Okay, Michael, you land in the middle of Cincinnati, Ohio, where Jen and I are. And for whatever reason,
Cincinnati, really? Let's go.
Yeah. Home of the Bengals and the Reds, to say.
Cyclones.
Who are those, like circus performers? Who are we talking
about? Got it. Okay, Michael, you land here. Hey, listen, do not insult the sports teams of Cincinnati. It's really important.
Well, you know why that is, right?
Why?
Because that's all they've got there.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
I know nothing about sports.
I challenge you to come out here.
But here's what I do want to ask you. What I do want to ask you is, who's the number one agent in your market? How many transactions did the number one agent in your market close, and how many transactions are there market wide, roughly?
I don't know if that is you know who that is? That's Julie Back, I think.
No.
Hey, Julie.
There is.
Is it the Finn team?
No, there's an agent that represents like most of the builders, and they do a lot. They do like hundreds.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
I would love to know.
Okay, but so I'm just asking. You land.
Yep.
And you get yourself a little office, and you come in day one, and your internet's working, and your computer's working. And what's the first freaking thing you do?
I'm gonna pick up a couple of lead sources so that I have people to call in addition to FSBO's expired, blah, blah, blah. I want to have some inbound lead sources. So it depends on, a lot of this depends on my budget. Do I have money or do I not have money?
Let's say
you have some money.
Okay. If I've got some money, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get leads like candy.com, which a lot of people think is the worst lead source on the planet, but that's because they suck at handling those leads. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to get leads.
What's it called?
Leads like candy.com.
LeadsLikeCandy.com. Okay. What else?
Like candy. And I'll probably pick up 1 or 2 other seller lead sources, and I'm gonna hit the phones. And by the way, I'm not gonna hit the phones 4 hours a day. You want to know why?
You're gonna hit it 8.
Because I don't believe in working part-time.
Oh,
right. And I got nothing else to do. I got no freaking transaction. I got nothing else to do. I might as well hit the phones 8 hours a day until and by the way, I'm going to set as many freaking appointments as I can. And if that number is 3, great. If it's 10, great. I'm going to set as many as I can every single day. And I'm just going to hit appointments.
Oh my God. The most amount of appointments I ever set in one day was over 20. It was
doable. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a
It
great
was my
day.
most favorite day in the world. And I was like, wow, this is awesome.
You could do
is,
it.
right? It's really
You get into
solid.
a rhythm.
How
And
long did
that's-
that take you, Jen? 8 hours?
No, I was done by like 3.
That's crazy good. Okay, Michael.
What's
So
interesting
you do
though is
that. Do you
most
do?
people, once they got to like 10 appointments, they'd have been like, oh my gosh, I've had a wonderful day. I'm going to take the rest of the day off.
Mhm.
But you were smart. You said, no,
Double.
I'm in momentum. I'm going
Yeah.
to keep that
Mhm.
momentum going.
Yeah.
That was smart.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm
No,
sorry.
How
a
do
little
you-
bit.
Michael, how do you coach people like me who have strong aversion to bothering people, being hung up on, getting people angry at you? Like,
Bothering
how do you get people
people.
through that?
Great question. You just asked the perfect question. And let me tell you what.
Aw. Get
Oh
send her
God,
her-
I can tell. No, this is gonna hurt. Whatever he's
No,
about
it's
to
not.
say.
No. That's not, they're not gonna have to wipe your blood off the mat this time. But let me share this with you very seriously. It depends on you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have to ask yourself first, how am I willing to be coached? Because I'm not going to coach most people. And the reason is the people that I coach all do 500 to 1,000 transactions a year and more, right? I punch them right in the face. They love it. They're masochists. They want me to punch them in the face.
Yeah.
If I were to coach somebody like you, Monica, you'd be in tears at the end of your freaking call and you'd last about 2 weeks and you'd quit. Right. And so we have other coaches as well that you would love, that would do a great job at helping you in the way that you need to be helped, not the way that I'm used to helping people, because I am not everybody's cup of tea at all.
But I think, Michael, though this is a mindset thing, and this is kind of like, I would ask an agent that was like that. I would be like, look, do you believe that you're the best agent to help people? And I already know the answer because of the way they think. They think no. But if you think yes, like I truly believe like I am the best real estate agent in Cincinnati. So it is my duty to talk to people, because here's what I know. Most agents are terrible. So the chance of them having a terrible experience with an agent is very, very high. If I want them to have a good experience and I want them to reach their goal, then I have to reach out to them because I don't know them and they don't know me. It's not possible for them to reach out to me. So I have to reach out to them.
I understand that logic and I don't entirely disagree with it, but let me share this with you.
How can you disagree with it at all?
Because let's talk about reality and the 90% of the agents out there that subconsciously really don't think they're the best agent.
That's why I said I already knew the answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the ones that don't. And the one, and,
What do they
and
do? Right.
Let's talk about reality. The reality is it doesn't matter if you think you are or you're not the best agent in the world. What matters is, are you willing to do what it takes to become the best? And for starters, we have to understand the difference between quantity and quality. If I were to ask you guys, watch this. I'm not going to ask Jennifer. I'm going to ask Monica. Monica, what's more important, quantity or quality?
To me, quality.
Yeah, I already know your answer. It's quality, right?
Right.
And Jennifer, what's more important?
Quantity.
Quantity or quality? Quantity, right. So Monica, Jennifer's actually right. And let me tell you why. Quality.
Here we go.
No, but here's the thing. I'm telling you guys, you should have come armed for this. I'm just saying. So quality is important, but you only will ever get to quality through quantity, not the other way around. I can deliver the best service on the planet, world-class service to every single client. And if I don't get out there and find some clients, I got nobody to serve. Whereas if I were to go out and do a ton of service for a ton of different clients, I could be a jerk. I could be a loser. I could drop the ball. I could screw a lot of things up, but eventually I'm going to figure it out. Eventually I'm going to get it right. And my quality will improve and I will begin to deliver world-class quality.
Agreed. Action leads to confidence. Action leads to it's action.
Yes.
I get it. I agree.
I should have made this exact point when we were fighting about units or volume. I was for units, obviously, and I just could not articulate. Yes, thank you. Damn it.
Here's the thing. The reality
Smarter,
is,
not harder.
You know, these people, and I love these people in Southern California, right? Like, because we have the different tiers in Club Wealth, right? And wherever, like, if I'm a tier 2, my coach is in tier 3. So my coach is always doing more business than me.
Yeah.
But these people in these high-end markets, they always want to, say, well, I may have only done 25 transactions last year, but they were all over $1 million.
Who cares?
Well, good for freaking you. What that really means is when the market tightens up and 20% of your business goes away, you're going to lose a crap ton more money than the guy next to you who did 200 transactions last year, because now you have, let's say you've got 25 referral sources from this year, assuming every single person you worked with loved you to death. The other guy's got 200 referral sources referring him out. Who's going to have more success long-term? You tell me. Watch this, understand this. Einstein proved my point here. Einstein said very clearly, there are 2 types of people on this planet, those that understand compound interest and those that pay it.
Yeah, that's good. Yes. Oh my God. This was
Boom.
freaking awesome.
this
I
was
love
awesome.
it.
Michael, you are a peach. I've never heard anyone turn a cupcake into a negative thing. And I love cupcakes. And now
You
I'm
love
sad about
calories?
them.
Do you love the sugar rush that it gives you and screws with your insulin all day? I mean, come on. Do we really need to talk about cupcakes? They're weak.
You are wearing me
I
down.
feel
You're-
like we need to do Real Estate Fight Club 75 hard, lead generate.
Oh,
Like if somebody
shoot.
wants to do that, reach out to me. But
All right.
Michael, can you give us like the 30-second elevator pitch on Club Wealth, please?
Yes.
sir?
Tell us how to take advantage of your program.
Well,
Just amazing.
Let's start with if you want to transition from a cupcake, a snowflake, or whatever it is you are today to the very best agent you can possibly be, there's only one place to go, and that's Club Wealth. There's a reason why we literally, I'm not going to name any names, but if I look at other coaching companies like TF and yada, 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 they've got 10 times as many clients as we do. But their clients on average do under 20 transactions a year. Our clients on average do over 200 transactions a year.
Wow.
And as a group, our clients represent more transactions than theirs do. And we are the only coaching company on the planet where every single one of our clients has a coach that sells more real estate than they do. Nobody else can
I
say
love
that.
that idea.
That's
I'm sick of
really
yeah,
cool.
I'm sick of coaches who aren't like in the business.
Amen.
Yeah.
100%. Not only that, we're the only coaching company on the planet that will guarantee that you'll double your income or make an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we give you 100% of your money back.
Yeah.
Nobody else will do that. And nobody's ever asked me for their money back, because if they do what we tell them to do, they make the money. Now, that being said, how do you get a hold of us? All right,
Yeah.
here you go. Super simple. I'm going to give you two things. Number one, actually, let me just pull this up right now. I want you guys, I'm going to give you lead sources. We talked about lead sources. You want to find out? I've got 109 lead sources that we recommend to our clients. I will give you 17 of the best ones.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's what you do. Grab your cell phone right now and send me a text message. You're going to text the number that you're going to send the text message to is 727-287-5993.
Say it again.
727-287-5993. And I want you to text the words Club Wealth, 2 words, Club Wealth. Text those words to that number, and I will send you 17 of our best 109 lead sources. If you do it while you're watching this, literally, because it's complicated, but if you do it while we're talking here, we will literally give you 31 of our best lead sources. Now, that said, that's the only way to get those. Now,
Cool.
I would also recommend go to our website, clubwealth.com, check out the blog. We give more information away for free, more great strategies away for free than you'll pay for at any other coaching company.
Awesome. What are the tiers?
So
that
tier
you keep
1
talking
is
about?
designed for people that are doing 0 to 25 transactions a year. And it's
Awesome.
all about how do I get to grow beyond that. And so if you're doing 0 to 25 transactions a year, your coach is in tier 2. That means your coach is doing 25 to 75 transactions a year.
Okay.
Tier 3 is 75 to 150. Tier 4 is 150 to 250. Tier 5 is 250 to 500. Tier 6 is 500 to 1,000 transactions a year. And tier 7 is 1,000 units per year and more.
Wowza. How many people have you had go from tier 1 to tier 7?
I
Do you
don't
know?
know that number. Honestly, I really don't know that number.
That's a good number to know.
I have very frequently seen people in Club Wealth go from tier 1 to tier 4. So they've gone from
That's
doing
nice.
fewer than 25 transactions to doing greater than 150 transactions,
Wow.
literally in 1 to 2 years. Very
That's
common.
awesome. That's great.
Very
I would
cool.
imagine do you guys have camaraderie within the tiers too?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
When you're at our events, so our events are smaller, right? We'll have maybe 400 people per event. But the average agent in the room is doing right around 200 transactions a
Yeah,
year.
so you're not messing around with people that
No, there's ballers there, but you'll be
Right.
having lunch with somebody. Watch this. You could be the person that did 5 transactions last year, and you're having lunch with somebody, especially if you're in our VIP, because at our events, the ballers all do VIP. So you're sitting there, you're having lunch with somebody. They're the nicest person you've ever met in your life, the most humble. I'm like the most arrogant guy on the planet here compared to
we met you.
They are the most humble, wonderful people. I'm not even kidding you. But you'll be sitting there having this conversation with this incredibly humble person, and they'll be pouring themselves into you, helping you in every way they can, giving you all kinds of great advice, as you're just networking over lunch. And then they get up and walk away, and somebody else sits down and they look at you and they're like, "Do you know who that was?"
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
Yeah.
well, what do you
No.
mean? What are you talking about? Like, that was that was Coach Lee Garland and he did over 500 transactions last year. Or that was Coach Kyle Robinson and he did over 750 transactions last year. And you're like, what? Wait, hey, come back.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but they're the nicest, most humble people you've ever met. And that's
cool.
And that's a really rare thing to get that many really high producers in the same place together that are all super humble and willing to share and willing to tell you what they've screwed up. And they will. Yeah. I mean,
well, let's end with that. If you look back on your career, what's one thing that you could have done better? Where were you like, boy, if I only had done that better?
Humility, 100%. Are you kidding me? There is no question. My Achilles heel is that I'm in the pride cycle all the time. I'm way too proud. I need to learn to be more humble. There's no question. Absolutely 100%. The thing that
Are you working on that?
What's that?
Are you working on that?
Sometimes. No. And I'll tell you why, because there's a time to be humble and there's a time to be right. And right now, me being humble doesn't serve your audience. Right now, your audience needs to see the truth. They need to understand what's really going on more than they need me to be humble. Now, when I'm sitting with them one-on-one, I'll be humble. Absolutely. I'll do the very best I can to be as humble as I can, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to, in German, they say, anscheinen or shine you on, basically I'm not going to sugarcoat it or blow smoke in your face, right? Like at the end of the day, what people have come to expect from me is the brutal, honest truth and backed by data that they can count on. I'm not going to tell you a product or a service is good because they're going to pay me. I'll only tell you a product or service is good if I know that it will change your business for the better. Period. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
And I think I love you for that. You have been an amazing guest. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
you're awesome.
Guys, we appreciate you being here with us today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. You're going to want to share this one with somebody or a couple people today. No doubt in my mind, you've got somebody to share.
Get your squad. Share
with Gary Keller, Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Glenn Sanford. Share it with all those guys. Tell them,
do it.
I'm calling you out, boys. Meet me here, here on Fight Club.
And if they do that, they can be in Club Wealth for.
Yeah, right. Wait, Mertland, can you imagine all those guys on one episode? We do a video. I mean, this would be.
We would have to be in control of the mute button for everyone.
Yeah, right.
All right, Jen. Want to know why? Because they'll all be speechless. They won't have a thing to say.
Yeah, right. Of course they will.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Bring it.
Well, thanks for being on. We hope you liked it. If you would have an interest in partnering with me and Monica, feel free to give me a call or a text, 513-400-1691. Check us out on Instagram and now TikTok.
That's right. All right, Michael, thank you again for your time. We know how precious it is, and this was really great.
Thank you.
Seriously, ladies, great show. I love that you're doing this. Keep it up.
All right, thanks.